on all of us to set aside our differences, to seek out common ground, and to summon the unity we need to deliver for the people.
Seek common ground. What happened to our president, Donald Trump, Alex Castellanos?
I think our president was still there. He appealed for unity, but at the end of the day, Donald Trump came to Washington to change it, not to unite it. And he laid out what he has changed, and then he laid out what he wants to change. So a lot of Democrats didn't see that speech as a speech to unite America, but just to get the Trump agenda done.
I will say this. Let's talk about some of the good stuff from last night. The guests in the audience, always very powerful, and it shows you how brilliant Ronald Reagan was, who sort of invented the idea way back when. But every State of the Union speech, each one of those stories, they find great Americans to tell a great story.
They did, and Trump even added something to the great Reagan idea. He didn't just wait till the end of the speech and point to a few people up in the bleacher seats and tell their great stories. He did it early, all throughout the speech. Great stories. This was a speech about people and not policy. People, great Americans who succeeded in this country and nourished it. People from all over the world who loved freedom and were fighting for it. So that's what made the speech. And when you compare that to the alternative, the grumpy Democrats in the audience, old Democrats, Bernie Sanders, Chuck Schumer, sitting on their hands for lines about the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance, and economic growth, Donald Trump won the night.
With that being said, if you were to close your eyes and take all the spin out of it and not sort of look through your own political prism, he didn't talk once about the deficit. He talked about big government and big government spending and all those types of things. So in some ways, he sounded like a liberal Democrat wanting to spend.
Because in part, Donald Trump is a liberal Democrat about as much as he is a conservative Republican. His first year generally has been a pretty successful conservative presidency. Good Supreme Court justice, beefing up defense, fighting for him to secure our border. Lots of good conservative stuff, but he's a spender. Donald Trump built his business spending other people's money. He continues to do that as President of the United States.
Think he'll get any criticism from the right on that today?
Very little, because the alternative is what? Nancy Pelosi. So Team Republican is sticking with Trump.
What'd you think of the response from Mr. Kennedy?
The responses, the Democrats divided their messages. They had about 5 of them. That weakened their response. And I think young Kennedy's a rising star in the Democratic Party, but he just points out how old the real leaders and out of ideas how old the real leaders of the Democratic Party are.
Yeah. Alex Castellanos, though, when President Obama gave his speech, he was the young, futuristic guy, and there were a bunch of grumpy old men sitting on their hands. So, it seems like that's just the moniker for the State of the Union, though.
It's been reversed now. President Obama, in a way, was the leader of the Republican Party. He's the one that drove us Republicans crazy. And now, of course, who's the leader of the Democratic Party? Well, it's Donald Trump. He's driving the Democrats crazy and defining who they are.
Yeah. I will say this, that police officer who adopted the child from the drug-addicted mother, you have a heart of stone if that story doesn't touch you.
There were tears. There were tears all around the country last night on a couple of moments. Ji Jung Ho, the Korean who had to walk to freedom, for the freedom we take for granted here every single day. It's good to be reminded.
Yeah. Since you are the Trump whisperer, how long before Donald Trump starts attacking on Twitter?
He hasn't yet. Wait a minute. He's had minutes. No, it won't take long. The president has an ability to distract from his own message. But, that's the good thing about a State of the Union. You call the country together to look over the horizon to what we could do and who we could be. The president did a little bit of that. Let's hope it lasts.
Alex Castellanos, ABC News political analyst. Thanks, Alex, for your expertise. Have a good day.